All right, welcome back. Time to mix it up on the day's other headlines. Reaction to the Goldman Sachs settlement. Calls to create a Tea Party caucus in the Congress. It's fun on a Friday. We start with growing outrage, though, over the Goldman Sachs settlement. The mega firm agreeing to pay $550 million to settle a civil fraud lawsuit filed by the SEC over its infamous abacus deal, a CDO or a bet effectively secretly designed to cash in on the collapse of the housing market. You paid the bet off. They've got the money at the beach. You don't have a job. They're laughing. You're crying. It's pretty simple. The settlement, the largest fine ever paid by a Wall Street firm. That's encouraging. However, it's little more than a drop in the bucket for a company that has such a stranglehold on the manipulated financial markets. It's able to extract billions of dollars in a quarter, $13 billion last year. In fact, it only takes them about 6 good days of trading to make the necessary money to pay off that fine, which is, for them, a good day of trading is a day when the financial markets were open and they were in control of it. But while there was no admission of fraud from Goldman, the firm had to admit that the abacus deal had, quote, incomplete information to escape the far more damaging criminal charges. This could leave them open to more civil charges from those ripped off by the deals. But don't worry about them going under, of course. Goldman already gets your full taxpayer support thanks to ongoing massive bank bailouts at the Federal Reserve, other benefits like 0% interest rates on money that they borrow from the Fed and then lend back to the Treasury, making billions in the process. In fact, Goldman is gushing over the settlement. The firm's stock rising nearly 7% since news of the deal went public. Couple of $1 billion in added value for a $500 million fine. That's $1.5 billion, I think they made on that trade. That's pretty good. Joining us now, host of the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur, and former Clinton speechwriter Michael Waldman. You were shaking your head as Nomi was talking. What's in your mind?
Well, this is ultimately a question of trust. Do people trust the federal government? Do people trust the Obama administration?
Cenk Uygur also joining us out of the Young Turks. Cenk, how does this incumbent administration deliver this body of information, I don't care how they want to characterize it, and keep their jobs?
Well, they're going to be aided and abetted by most of the media, who says, wow, the SEC was tough on Goldman Sachs, and wow, we had the greatest financial reform since the Great Depression. But look, there's a little bit of hope that things can go right, but of course the proof is in this case in the regulators. And and I'll just lay out some markers for people. If Obama doesn't pick Elizabeth Warren to lead that Consumer Protection Agency, well, then it was all a joke. They never meant to do any real regulation.
High five, Tim Geithner. High five, Tim Geithner.
Of course.
High five.
And Gary Gensler is a good reformer. He used to be with Goldman Sachs, but he's doing a good job now. If he's out of a job at some point, you know it was all a joke. And then finally, the SEC, all right, they went after Goldman for this tiny little bit of thing, but what they really should go after Goldman for is the trades they profited on. They set up the toxic assets, and when the toxic assets went down, they made money, not John Polson. That's the real deal. Will the SEC go after him for that?
Obviously not. It's a sad moment for this country when a president who was in a position as strong politically, I believe, as Teddy Roosevelt was up against the robber barons, but who was choosing, instead of taking the authority that would be available to him in that position as our president, to kowtow to the robber barons in this case, as opposed to taking them on. And I think that that is a real tragedy for this country.